Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we're back with another action figure slash, I guess you could say kind of like a little fix-up video. Before we get into the discussion of the fix-ups and stuff like that, I would like to say how happy I am that I finally found this dude. It was pretty cheap. If you guys are looking to do this fix-up, this Robert Roode, at least as far as I saw, $13.05 on Amazon right now. And for that head sculpt, I think that's pretty worth it to make any Bobby Roode Elite you have look not just a little bit more up to date, but just better in general. But before we get into that, before we just keep on talking, let's break this open. I'm going to try to do this on camera. Normally, I would have the knife out, but let's be honest, basic packages don't need the knife. Just plain and simple. This is a little bit tougher than it used to be. There we go. Let's get this Bobby Roode out of its plastic prison all the way, if I can with one arm. And I finally did. Now you guys won't have to suffer through all that rumbling because I didn't feel like taking the camera and pausing it. But, so, to get into the basic Bobby Roode, if it would focus, this Bobby Roode head sculpt looks really clean, especially for a basic figure. Like, that is really clean. Let's see if I can get that to stand up so maybe it'll focus a little bit better. But yeah, no, this Bobby Roode head sculpt is really nice. I love how it's got the beard on it. And honestly, I'd say this might be an attire that I would love to see, like, just as an elite at some point. Say we get a set of Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, because obviously that's what this is for. This is for their tag team. Not what I'm using the basic for, but that's what the attire represents. And of course, from the waist down, just standard black boots and trunks. Trunks and knee pads. I haven't been to bed yet, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning as of recording this, so sorry if I mess up my words. But yeah, without getting into too much of a full-fledged review, I'd say this basic is pretty worth the money that I got it for, $13.05. And that head sculpt, I think, is going to look really nice on this Bobby Roode. But on top of the Bobby Roode, we're going to also be fixing up this Elite Sheamus. And I'm going to be kind of putting this CM Punk back together, as it's one of my favorite figures. I just used the head sculpt and the knee pads for the AEW version of Punk. And everything else doesn't necessarily matter that much. I might show them off at the end of the video, but they're mainly people that are going to be thrown into the crowd just to kind of fill in a little bit more space so they're not falling over all over the place. But before we get into that, I guess you can say I've got a couple of little questions for you. If anyone out there knows if this would work, please maybe tell me how you did it or link me to a way to show proof. But as you can see, I've got this armless gold dust, and I've got the AEW Unrivaled Dustin Rhodes. And this Dustin Rhodes figure looks great, but it just feels too big, and it poses like crap. Like that's how high the boot kicks up. It's ridiculous. So I was thinking of maybe if I can and it'll actually sit in the Mattel body, I want to take the shoulders and all, not just the arms, because I know I could pop the arms onto the shoulder pieces, but I want the full-fledged tattoos that are on his arm. And I don't know if it'll fit in the Mattel body or not. And if anyone's done it, maybe like throw me a hint and let me know, because I'm very intrigued to see if it's possible and actually do it. I don't know if I have the extra AEW fodder to just destroy like that, so we'll have to maybe do a little experiment and see. But you know what? I think I'm gonna end up taking you guys into the kitchen with me where all of the swappages are gonna be done. So why don't we go into the kitchen real quick? Alrighty guys, I'm back. I was waiting for the water to start boiling up. Now that it's starting to boil up, I'll explain a couple of the things I'm trying to do. I'm gonna put a new hand on this one. Other than that, putting head sculpts on them, they're going straight into the crowd. I found an extra piece of fodder for that little fix-up idea that I was talking about. And this torso is already cracked, so I just gotta reheat it up a little bit and crack it again, and we'll see if that actually works. And then these are the main things. Obviously the head sculpt with Bobby Roode is being swapped. I'm gonna take the knee pads off of the Bobby Roode, put them over on the CM Punk, and I've got an extra Punk head sculpt. I've got the Sheamus head sculpt, and I've got the head sculpts for the basics. I don't know if I'm gonna end up doing the knee pad swap, because I do kind of like these knee pads a little bit better, but I don't know. Let's just get stuff tossed in. I don't know if I'm gonna show this whole process, but I did want to show this in full and how I do it. As you can see, I just kind of drop the stuff in boiling water, and because it's the first, well, one of the first easier ones, we'll kind of do Sheamus on camera, but then from here on out I'm just gonna be doing everything off camera, and I'll show it all afterwards. But this is how I do it, the boiling water method. You could do this with a cup in the microwave, but I feel like this is just easier as it keeps consistent heat. And it doesn't take them very long. You just gotta be quick with it. Ooh, hot. That is very hot, so I'm gonna put the camera down for a quick second. Oh, that is not bueno. Well, that Sheamus fix-up might be coming a little bit later. To just kind of show what happened there, the neck peg just broke, so yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but the rest of these will be done off camera. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alrighty, you guys, now after an hour of trying to fix that Sheamus, as you saw in the last clip, the neck peg just snapped out of it. I tried to crack the torso open. It would not stay hot enough, long enough for me to be able to get it to even fully crack on one side. Like, that Sheamus was like factory sealed, quite nice. And in all honesty, I don't think that Sheamus is going to be repairable, so I think if anything, my best bet is probably just to buy a new one. But we'll look into the other two that were pretty successful here in a second. And what I found out about the, what was it, the Dustin Rhodes Gold Dust fix-up, is that the AEW arms might technically fit inside of a Mattel torso, but they're like almost ready to fall out. So I guess for anyone who's looking at customizing stuff like this, you might want to might not want to use AEW arms instead of the Mattel torso, as they don't fully fit. So yeah, that kind of canceled that custom. But looking at the Punk and the Bobby Roode, or the Robert Roode, whatever you want to call him. Looking at Punk first, because I want to put the robe on Roode. Honestly, I love this head sculpt for CM Punk. It's one of my favorite ones. A little weird how the eyebrows are black, but yet everything else is brown. And having knee pads on them is pretty nice, thanks to the Bobby Roode basic. And honestly, I'd say this in itself is a success well done. And fun fact about the head sculpt, it definitely feels a little loose. But, you know, let me put the camera down. Even though I shouldn't have to feel that scared. The head sculpt, I guess, is interchangeable. So you can just pop it back on there. If I can get it back on there with one hand, I don't know. Yeah, I got it back on there with one hand, oddly enough, I think. But yeah, head sculpt's interchangeable, so I guess modern day basics don't need hot water to interchange the head sculpts. But now, just to get it on there, that final little nod and touch to the figure. Where's the... oh, there it is. I was wondering where the little Velcro piece was, because I'm not used to the robes having the Velcro piece to hold them in place, and then the little knot. So I don't know. You might hear me continue to talk for a few minutes as I tie this up. You might see me just cut this out and then cut into when I got the robe fully on them. Alright, after 2 minutes of rambling, I finally got the robe on there and tied on there. So I think I'm going to be keeping that on him wherever I put him. I don't know if it'll be on the pick fed roster bin, or if it'll be in my extra figure bin where I have all the figures who I'm either currently not planning to use, or like some of them are alternative attires for certain figures too. So I guess it's a little mix of like alternative attires and all that shish. But before I continue to keep talking and rambling for too long, I got a little question to ask about the pick fed, and as far as that goes, I hope you guys have been enjoying the last few episodes, and if you have, maybe talk about what your favorite part was. And on top of that, I hope you're excited for the next episode coming up, as we're gonna finish off that battle royal and then get things going into the final episode before the pay-per-view. So I don't know, I'm pretty excited for it. And on that note, if you like the fix up and you want to do that yourself, I would definitely recommend picking up this Bobby Roode, as I don't know what other series this Bobby Roode like head sculpt features on, but this one was series 136, because I didn't state that earlier. It's a basic. I wasn't doing like a full caring review. But yeah, no, I'm definitely happy with this, and I'm happy to see that this is interchangeable, because it gives me ideas for putting that head sculpt onto a suit for promos and stuff like that, because I know Bobby Roode does do stuff like that. So, but yeah, on that note, like the video if you like the video. Sorry I rambled a little too long, but if you disliked it for that reason or any reason, feel free to do that too. It's whatever. Subscribe for future content if you like to see action figure videos like this, and or just pick fed videos. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a review of AEW Fight Forever now that that's been out for a little while. But other than that, I don't know really any plans besides pick fed stuff that I want to do, and or maybe figures I want to get to review. But other than that, yeah, I guess you guys can have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys hopefully sometime next week. Peace, yo.